definition of insanity. I mean, I was thinking about that when I was thinking about budget allocation, right? Like a lot of the issues that we have, a lot of problems that we're confounded with has to do with how much money we spend, on what we spend, and why we spend it. And it's interesting how we come to a decision of how we're going to be deciding or determining our budget. So I was thinking about our national budget from 2019, not even specifically monies that were supposed to be allocated towards the military. And I wasn't thinking about the entirety of the military. I was just thinking about one specific program, Abraham tanks, right? Tank programs. And I think it was like 2.2, 2.3 billion dollars allocated in order to purchase another 160 Abraham tanks. So the reason that I was thinking about that was because, I don't know, for the last 10 years, the chiefs of staff and specifically Army and Marines have been asking for the Congress to stop providing them with the tanks. They've been asking to stop giving us tanks. As a matter of fact, I think there was a report in 2012 and in 2013, in 2014 to the Congress by the, the general, I can't remember his name, who said that we have about 9,000 tanks already. We don't need more tanks, right? And what does the United States Congress decide to do in its combined wisdom? Well, they decide to send more tanks. And so I've been thinking about that, right? And just when I was reading the numbers that were allocated, specifically $2.3 billion for the last one, I didn't even have the energy or the desire to check if in 2020 we did the very same thing, right? Like, did we allocate and did we purchase more? And so I was so curious about it, I decided to do it right now. So there was money allocated for tanks in 2020. Let's see. Let us see. Yep. Abraham tank modification 2.165 of them, M1 Abraham tanks. And interestingly enough, just exactly as they're releasing that, the Marines have released that they are going to cut those tanks that are being utilized and send the tanks that they have back to Army. And Army is going to put them somewhere in a warehouse, somewhere in Arizona or where have you. So the problem isn't necessarily the tanks. The problem isn't even necessarily the billions. The problem is I don't understand why when somebody tells you I don't want it, they, in their capacity as our Congress, say we don't care what you want, we're going to give it to you. And of course one could say that the reason behind that is because they want to protect the employment, or they want to continue the production, or they want to do all of those things. But there are much easier ways of doing it. You want to secure the earnings without wasting? Do that. You want to put the people towards work? Do that. But why continuously do you spend this money when somebody who you should listen to when they tell you what they need? Because, you know, it's easy to imagine 2.2 billion dollars for 169 tanks. I don't know, how do you perceive with 2.3 billion dollars? How many psychologists those monies can hire? How many homes can 2.3 billion dollars can buy in order to serve our soldiers and their families, as opposed to serving some congressman in some state who's going to get political clout in order to be able to get more votes, as opposed to actually helping those that we need to help. I don't know. But it is frustrating. And it is insane that year after year after year, we tell Congress, please don't send us tanks. And every year, Congress does exactly that. Insanity?